Hey, Strummer Dundee here, and today we're doing a booksploration of Egyptology. So this is another one of those beautiful facsimile books by Candlewick Press that's made to look like an original artifact of some kind. So this one is very gold, very beautiful, and it's going to be all about an ancient Egyptian expedition. You can see on the back the lovely eyes talking about the pyramids. And you notice the name Emily Sands. So this book is actually made to look like an original journal by an archaeologist. So in the inside we have a lot of very beautiful details. I just like how everything's laid out in the front cover as well. You do have this sort of fake picture, which is supposed to be from this original crew, Emily Sands and the people who went with her to find a lost tomb. And I like that it looks kind of very authentic, early 1900s. And you have the tickets that they supposedly had, the map for their adventure, lots of sketches as well. And this is actually a letter which is supposed to be from a relative of Emily Sands who found this mysterious lost journal and sent it to Candlewick Press. So I do like that it seems like a legit envelope that's just put in there. So here we have the title, Egyptology, Search for the Tomb of Osiris. And we do not have an end date, a beginning date, but not an end date there. So lots of different foldable things. We have some sketches on the inside and a kind of fake or facsimile postcard attached in here. So on the inside, this starts out her journal and their arrival to Egypt in the very early 1900s. I always love the kind of sketches and art in here. It always looks very soft and watercolor. And as you can see, the journal itself looks very typewritten, like a very old-fashioned typewriter. So another unique feature, we do have something else that can come out and unfold. So this is a papyrus that is talking about this tomb that they're supposed to go to. So it is kind of taped down. You can see the little dot of tape there. I always like the artifacts in here because they're very sturdy. I'm always very careful when I pull anything out, but it's really neat. You can see the papyrus or reed pattern on the back. And it makes it look like it is very authentic with the hieroglyphics and the depiction of Isis and Osiris. Love the colors in here. So as always with this, you want to be careful to fold everything back up and put it back where it came from. Or if you have kids reading this book, same thing. And even stick down the little dot of tape to make sure it doesn't come up. So on this page, we have a lot of fold-out type things. This is going over what the different crowns of the pharaohs mean for Upper and Lower Egypt. And when it folds out, it gives you some more history there, as well as kind of what the role of the pharaohs are and the gods associated with them. And here we have some false advertisements and temperature gauges, but it folds out into a big map of Upper and Lower Egypt, with all the specific places marked on the map as you go up and down the Nile. So this next page we have talks about a ceremony of how the monks dealt with things and how they celebrated their gods. So some more artifacts and some more drawings of the big procession going down toward the tomb. And then some more fold-outs here. So this is the inside of different pyramids, what it's structured like. It's interesting to see all the different chambers that were built into the Great Pyramids, because the bodies weren't always where you expected them to be. On this page, we have more specifics about mummies and inside of the tombs. So there's some mummified cats and ibises inside the tombs, how the pyramids were built. And also, this little booklet has a small sample of mummy cloth. So I thought that was cool. This is very much like the dragon scales and the dragonology booksploration as well. So you can see it's just a little piece of gauze, but it is neat to be able to feel it, and it's embedded so well in there, it doesn't feel like it's going to come up or anything. So in the next spread, we have one of the specific monuments you could go to and visit. A nice big sketch of what it looks like when you get there. Depiction of a famous bust that is real, and they just made a sketch of it. And then Emily Sands, the supposed author, left her little book of understanding hieroglyphics. So it does have the very basic, like, you can learn how to write your name and hieroglyphic sort of symbols and basics of how they all fit together to form cartouches or spell out names. So in this next page, we again get to the worship of specific gods and what the inside of specific temples look like. So we have this anointing and worship of, I believe that's Horus there. This is a unique map. It's a little pull-down map, so you can see what the inside of this specific monument looks like, a little blueprint of what the rooms are and where everything is. And then you just kind of release it and it folds back into itself. That is something, though, you want to make sure it's folded up before you turn the page. And in here we also have things you can find inside the tomb. It talks about different jewelry and columns and different things that were buried with the dead. Down at the bottom we have some archaeology tools. So this is really neat if, like, there's a kid reading this who's really into archaeology. They can see all the little brushes and flashlights and scrapers and different tools. This is a really cool page. It's one of the more interactive pages that I've seen. And this is talking about some Egyptian culture and a board game they played called Sinet. So it has the rule book for how to play the board game, how to keep score, and how to understand kind of the objective of the game. Then it actually has these little pieces. So that's the game board on the book. And if you can see, it says to keep the game pieces inside the envelope so they don't get lost. I haven't opened the pieces because I don't plan on playing anytime soon. But they are these little cardboard pieces. You see they fit right on the board. And you can actually play an ancient Egyptian game of Sinet if you want. I like that little accordion pocket too. So, you know, keep all the pieces in there so they don't get lost. So this next page is more about the Valley of the Kings and how those specific pharaohs were buried. Of course, you have the famous King Tut mask on this page, covered in gold. So on this page, you can actually see the different layers of the sarcophagus. This one's a little tricky because it's actually in order. So once you peel back the first layer, you have this kind of inner coffin. And then on the inside, you have an additional layer. You can see it goes in order, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have the mummy board within that. And then the actual mummy itself. So it's really neat how you can see the different layers and how they all stack on top of each other. But you do have to be careful to put them back in the right order. Otherwise, it can get bent up or just be confusing for the next person who reads it. So on this side, you have Karnak and some more statues and different monuments that are still there today. So very huge statues. And this foldable is kind of neat. It's from Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. And it's talking about a monument in which only the feet are left. So you wonder who stood there. Inside here we have some more artifacts, and the story kind of progresses a little bit. So we have this little Egyptian Christmas card, actually, from Emily Sands and her crew. It's actually signed by everyone, so season's greetings, because they apparently worked all through Christmas Eve and into the night to be able to locate this mysterious tomb. On this page we have some more drawings, a little bit more about Egyptian history, chariot races, and how they were used for hunting. And also you have this nice close-up into the monument, so you slowly get closer and closer as the little sketches zoom in until you can actually see the royal family sitting within. And then you zoom back out and you're outside again. On this page, they talk a little bit more about the kind of mummy making process and the burial of the dead. It also has this very cool booklet of the Book of the Dead with real excerpts inside. So the next page we have an explanation of this kind of Egyptian afterlife and also this mysterious Tomb of Osiris that they have a map to and they are trying to see. So there's a sketch of the actual tomb as they're getting ready to excavate. Then on this next page, this mysterious woman appears to them and warns them against going in. And at the bottom, no more text. It says, at this point, Emily Sands' journal ends abruptly. It was followed by several blank pages, some of them bearing mysterious stains. And then at the end, we do have this note from the publisher about how he thought this could be a spoof, but it seems to be the genuine article. And then at the end, a publisher's note about the whole idea of facsimiles and how it's made to look like the journal. This is also pretty unique. It's another envelope, and it is filled with little artifacts and pictures directly from Emily Sands. So there's a lot of little postcards, boarding passes, different pictures, like this one from Alexandria is like a little postcard. Inside there are postcards from pretty much everywhere that she went. So here's a clear one where you can see the Sphinx, and it looks like an actual postcard on the back with a place for the address. And there was also this little boarding pass for their steamship, the Amrastar, and it says POSH Posh First Class on the back as to how she got there in the first place. So just a bunch of bonus little artifacts to play with at the end of the book. So did she find the Tomb of Osiris? We may never know. Maybe you can look into the eye of Horus, the all-seeing eye, and decide for yourself. Until then, I'll see you next time in another video.